The problem that we're trying to solve here is really simple. It's not easy to achieve, but it's simple to focus on. There's a little over 400,000 children in foster care nationally. That 400,000 represents about 35% of the children nationally who are maltreated. About 20% of capacity is, if you will, kind of in the market to serve the demand of 420,000. So there's a capacity problem. Simply aren't enough families to serve the children who need them. The second issue is stability. If you take the 20% who do take children in, those families are overwhelmed with a bureaucratic system that demands a lot of transactional relationships out of them, and they have very little support. So stability, be able to people not only feel supported, but they really do have supports that empower them, that resource them, that equip them to sustain a ministry year over year over year, so that you can build the capacity and sustain the capacity. When you create capacity and you have more families than children, you've just turned a desperate crisis situation into a quality-driven environment. Whenever you have more of something, you create choice. And whenever you can choose the best place for a child when they're in crisis, when you can choose and match children with families and families with children, and you get good match and they're in the right geography, and you've got enough critical mass to where children in their zip code, in their county, has enough access to services and safe families, and those families being supported through their local church, you then have choice. You can do a better job, get better outcomes, and you introduce quality, which is the third issue. Capacity, stability, and quality. Quality is something that's not spoken of much in child welfare. FaithBridge believes that we need to measure what we manage, be accountable for our investments, and do what's best for children. And what's best for children is children need permanent families. We believe the church is the solution because it's the church that has the resource, the energy to do this work. Some people ask why the church? I think it's really simple. The church has a biblical mandate. In fact, in the Bible, God even gives himself the title as Father to the fatherless. So the church has a mandate. So secondly, we have the ready infrastructure and the resources to solve this problem if we choose to. And thirdly, what really makes us different, the church being the solution, we have people. People who are willing. FaithBridge believes if they understand the problem, they'll respond to the call. There's only one thing missing. That's a plan, a strategy. FaithBridge has a strategy and a plan called the Community of Care. It's how we organize, equip, and release individuals, church by church, community by community, all across the country, for each church to take responsibility for just a small group of children in their community. If each church takes responsibility for children just in their zip code, their surrounding area, the church working together through the FaithBridge model of community of care, we can solve the foster care problem through the community of faith all across America. So we broke that by state, which is the data is clear. Each state, for example, our home state here in Georgia, Atlanta, and we've got about 7,000 children in foster care. But even 7,000 is a big number. So you break that by counties, and you start getting into a little more manageable number. My home county of Cobb, we've got a little over 300 kids in foster care. But if you get it down to my county, and forget the national number, forget the state number, but look at my county, 300 is still a lot of kids. But what if you take that county and divide it by zip codes? It's really interesting to me was, when we were early on, was if we're going to solve that problem of 300, what if we could get that 300 down to 11 kids in my zip code, 30066. All of a sudden, there's 11 children in my zip code. And if you really drill down on that 11, it's just 3 sibling groups. Wow, that's a solvable problem.